Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful evening with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. Unless you've been under a rock, we all know that today marks the day of spring. And what does that mean? And I have a superb astrologer on. She is very new. She's the first time. I'm very honored to have her on. Her name is AstroDee, as you see from the image there. And let me tell you this, she is a professional author. She boasts over 20 years of experience in the astrology field. And over the decades, she's analyzed countless couples and individual charts. So she's really got to the core of how the craft operates. Her main passion remains in teaching astrology, though. For many years, she has provided premium teaching materials that allow others a cosmic educational experience that breaks boundaries. Her gift in making this complex subject fun and easy to learn. Her goal is to leave people inspired and feel empowered to keep striving and loving and living a better life understanding through the star knowledge. And this full-time astrologer is also an actress and has been featured on major media such as NBC, HBO, Stars, and Netflix. I think I heard of them. I think I heard of those guys.
Yeah,
How you
yeah.
doing, AstroDee? How's everything?
Oh, everything is lovely. Everything is lovely.
Very,
I'm so
very
glad.
good. Now,
Thank
before we
you.
start, I forgot. Let me do the cosmic forecast. Get that out the way. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm beginning to remember to say that more. Thank you. This is Monday, March the 20th of 2023. This morning, when I did this, the sun was in Pisces moving into Aries, and the moon was in Pisces moving into Aries. So it's now in Aries now. That is official. It's a one universal month, a four universal week, a three universal day. And I'm going to explain how to do all of these. But if you are a Pisces or Sagittarian or Cancer, or born on the 2nd, the 3rd, the 11th, the 12th, the 20th, 21st, 29th, or the 30th, well, this is your time. So I will demystify, and here we are with the beautiful AstroDee. How you doing, lady?
I'm doing good. I'm just so glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me,
Now,
Lord.
this is spring. I understand. Is it Saturn is now in Pisces, I think?
Saturn has just entered into Pisces. This is a new spiritual era for everybody, you know. And I remember I saw the video you did that went super viral, talking about it being a number 7 year, and I was just like, man, this all comes together. Saturn being in Pisces, Pluto's about to go into Aquarius, so we're really shifting how we see spirituality in this world itself. People, humanity is shifting and changing.
What led you to astrology? How did you get into
Oh,
this, much less write books on the subject?
I know, right? Oh man. Well, my family is extremely religious on both sides. Christian, Pentecostal Christian. My
And they
father's side.
let you get away with astrology?
I don't now they do, because they know I'm not playing. You know what I mean? Because I got the books. And so now they just leave me alone.
Yeah,
Nobody's
I
okay,
know. I know. I've been through that.
that's her thing. But I mean, I did it on the sneak tip growing up. It just I would sit in class and I would look at the horoscopes, the regular horoscopes we have, and I'm like, how are these people getting to these conclusions? Where does this come from? And then I realized astrology is more than just your sign, your sun sign.
Hmm.
It's your
Hmm.
Venus sign, it's your Mercury. And then I was just completely amazed. Then I learned, man, you can do put it together with couples. And you can actually put someone's Venus with your sun and their Mercury, and then you can work on couples, relationships. It was just such a depth, a rounded depth of information that I couldn't let go of.
No,
And
it is
now
fascinating because when I got the bug, I went deep too. So I'm not just an Aquarius or you're not just a Taurus, whatever the case is. We are a mixture of everything. This is why
as
all Aquarians aren't the same. All Geminis aren't two-faced or flaky or whatever.
no,
I got a
yeah,
stereotype to them, but that's not at all. And I
mm-mm.
remember I had a client one time. She said she dated a Scorpio. She'll never, ever, ever, ever date a Scorpio again. So that doesn't give any other different types of Scorpios some space to kind of get in to see what's going on.
No. And just because someone has a Scorpio, a sun in Scorpio, that might work for you, but it could be their Mercury in the way they communicate in a scorpionic way that's really troubling you. You know what I'm saying? Just because their sun is there doesn't mean, their Venus could be there. They could like to be a little sadistic. That's on the lower vibration. Everything has a higher and a lower vibration. You know what I mean? So you can't just say one sign is good or one sign is bad. You gotta there's higher and lower octaves to this.
Let me ask you this. There have been schools of thought. They said when you know how you pick up the daily paper and read your daily horoscope, right?
Mm-hmm.
One school of thought says you should read your sun sign, and another school of thought says you should read your moon sign, and then
Mm-hmm.
another school of thought says you should read your ascendant sign.
That's a
Which
great
one do you
question.
feel from your experience would be the best? So if a person's picking up a newspaper and they're looking to see what the general thing is for the day, should they be knowing what their sun is or their moon or their ascendant or all three?
So I'm a lady that's like know your chart, period. Always be able to know everything in the chart. But this is a great question because I get it a lot when I do my readings. I just did a Saturn and Pisces reading. I'm gonna do Pluto and Aquarius. I say put it in order. The first is your you know, okay, the first is your ascendant sign. Okay. I say that with
Not
your
the sun sign. That's interesting.
I say the ascendant because, and it's just me, because of how the houses go. If someone's doing your ascendant sign is the first house, okay?
Yes,
The next sign
exactly.
after that is your second house and the third house. So if your first house is Aquarius, and you have, your second house being Pisces. So that's how I'm going to read it. If the Saturn is in Pisces, Saturn is in your second house. And that's how I'm going to read it. Then next, of course, the sun and then the moon. But people find mixing them all together is triple beneficial. You know what I mean? If you could get it
That makes
all in,
sense. That makes
that's the
sense.
best. Yeah, yeah. But I say do it in that order. Know your ascendant. You go on astro.com, get your birth time. If you don't know your birth time, then of course read your sun and you're not gonna know your moon if you don't have your birth time. So yeah, just read the sun if you don't got your
But
birth
for
time.
those that want to know, one of the reasons of how you find your ascendant, if there's any new viewers, you simply
Mm-hmm.
must know the time you were born. That's very important. And that's why one of the reasons why I switched over to numerology as a forte. I would do charts, and a person would say, I'm born 7:53 p.m., right?
Uh-huh.
Then, okay, I do the chart, bring it back to them. Lo and behold, they found a birth certificate and they born at 7:53 a.m. Well, you and I know that changes the whole flavor
It
of
does.
the chart.
It does.
So with
Yep.
numerology, I didn't have to go through that, especially when people were not sure, especially
Yeah.
people in the Caribbean, especially people in the South. I noticed that was a challenge, even sometimes the birth certificate, because they were born at home. By the time the midwife went to the hospital, they would put
Yeah.
down any birthday they wanted to, whatever the case is. They would spell the name any kind of way because the name Catherine is spelled 24 different ways. So
It sure
did the
is.
mother
It
mean to
sure
spell
is.
it this way or that way?
Yeah. Another thing I do, I definitely always ask my clients how sure are they with their birth times, a little rectification in some ways. But if you read those aspects, Venus stayed in the same spot that day. Mercury was definitely in the same spot. What changes with the time is the ascendant. Okay, so your house positions will change and the moon. Okay, so but if you know for sure that person definitely had Venus in Aries that day. And you can go on what's happening with Aries to Saturn or Pluto. How can that work? And that's a reading in itself. Just one section of the chart could be an hour reading in that. So that's also a way I go around it.
Now, there was a very popular book out a couple of decades ago, I guess, called "Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus."
Yeah,
And
I
so,
remember that.
and in theory, in astrology, if I want to look at the type of woman that would be best for me, I would look at my Venus. You, as a woman, you would look at
Look
your
at
Mars. Would that be correct?
Sun and Mars. Yeah, I do both Sun and Mars. I look at I look at Mars sometimes as the lover, the passion, who you want to make babies with type of
Hmm.
thing. And then
Hmm.
Sun is who's the provider, who's your protector. I look at both of them in different ways. So yeah. but
Okay.
concerning the husband. Jupiter is also considered the husband too for some astrologers. So you
Okay.
look at it that way.
Um, I know that normally the astrologer looks at two planets, where your Jupiter is for your good aspects, and where your Saturn is, where you may have to duck a little bit or just take for cover a bit, you
You
know?
know, it's interesting because sometimes Saturn can be your bestie, and sometimes Jupiter can be not so good for you because what Jupiter has its higher and its lower octave. Jupiter can bring abundance. It brings you hope. It brings your dreams. What are you dreaming of? What do you have faith in? And you need that, right? But then Jupiter is excess. You know, you can overdo it with
Yeah, to the
Jupiter.
extreme. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
you could go to
yeah.
extremes in the worst in your
Yeah.
anger. You know, Jupiter hitting your moon. Somebody pissed you off, you really gonna go off. You're not just gonna, it's gonna be exaggerated. Jupiter was exaggeration. Now Saturn can bring you success, long waited, you know, that hard success. You've been pushing and grudging through something, and Saturn brings you success and it brings it for the long term, right? But then yeah, Saturn could also hold you back. It can be depressing. It can bring diseases. It can bring all that stuff. So no other is better than the other. We need them all. We need them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. I guess it's a matter of finding that balance, as they say, and
There you go.
that will do it. Let's see what
Yeah.
some people have to say in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. You will need to provide your exact birth time if possible. Thanks to my moderator to add some clarity with that. Let me go back just a bit. I think somebody
Oh, they're
had,
ready. They're ready now. They're ready.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Now there's somebody here. Now they were in general. Now what happens if a person is in general, like this one here, uh, Scotty? They didn't give.
Okay.
They said they were born May the 12th of 84. So at least you can figure out where the moon is, if nothing else. We
Yeah,
all know
I mean, I
Taurus.
can hit those aspects. You
Yes,
know, I can hit it. You would do all right. So I'm gonna go for this
yes,
one. Let me go for
yes,
this one.
yes.
All right. I'm
And
gonna
we
go for it,
agreed
Scotty.
that she and I agreed that I would just take a minute just to kind of make sure she's looking at the aspects. But Scotty would be a Taurus, an earth sign with a fire number. That simply means solid in one way, yet fiery or compassionate in another way. And they will find that this particular year for them, they will be in a six personal year, which means a good because their key numbers are the 3, 6, and 9. And so this year is about making some adjustments, falling in love, falling out of love, whatever the case may be. But it's definitely
Yeah.
this is on romance and finance.
And this looks like Scotty also. He likes really nice things. Quality. Quality is very important
Normally,
to him.
that's a Taurus trait anyway. They're known for
Oh
that. Right?
yeah, yeah. But Venus is also there. Venus is there,
Uh,
so it's really important. Beautiful with thick, like him kind of thick too. The ladies, you know, you might like him kind
I'll
of
get
thick.
some meat on the bones, as they
Yeah,
say.
he needs
Okay.
some meat on the bones. Very beautiful women. Scotty likes beautiful women that are kind of thick. Okay, very quick talker, quick thinker. Wants to keep it moving. Wants to get
Mhm,
to the next thing. What's the
mhm.
next thought? What's the next idea here? And probably an excellent imagination. Very fast imagery coming to him all the time. One thing though is this Saturn in Pisces that's going on right now. I mean Pluto in Aquarius. Excuse me. When Pluto, it's going to be a while because Pluto's going to take a while to go through that, but he's going to experience some heavy stuff in his relationships over the next couple years. He has to work on a lot. He's going to have to learn self control coming up, deep self control in his
Mhm.
life. So it's going to get deep. So get ready, Scotty.
All right. So we got another person, and they were very specific. They says I have a lot of 5 Mercury in synergy. They were born on September the 23rd. That's a 5, which makes sense. They were born at 11:23 p.m.
Ooh,
Okay, almost midnight. So, uh,
11:23 p.m.
yep, 11:23 p.m. No, not midnight. Yes, it is midnight. So
Yeah,
that means it would be in about the
that's it.
first or second house, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, they're born on a Wednesday with a Gemini rising. Communications feel like an uphill battle. What number can they interact with to get that just gets it? Well, first of all, they're born on the
That's true.
23rd, which is a 5 anyway. So 5 will always be important. So I know that 2021, 2022 was very significant. This year is about starting new, starting over again, fresh, things of that nature. What say you?
Okay, so they're trying. What is there a question they're specifically asking? Like, what
No,
type of
he was just
person?
saying that he has a 5 Mercury synergy. He was given his birthday
Right.
and that he was born at 11/23. I guess
Mm-hmm.
overall, I guess his moon, his ascendant. I guess he's trying to let you know that he was born on a Wednesday with a Gemini rising.
Okay,
That's his.
who just gets it? I get what he's also asking on the numerology aspect, like who could I interact with that just gets it? And for me, I would say that they need somebody with a lot of Capricorn and Sagittarius energy. Okay, that opposite sign there. They would also enjoy somebody that's got a lot of Scorpio energy, Mercury in Scorpio, Venus in Scorpio. And I mean, I think people are just, if he wants to really just enjoy himself with somebody here, you want somebody with that Scorpio energy, and you need balance in your communication. So somebody that also has a similar Mercury and Libra that he has, okay,
Mhm.
or the total and Aries. That I think it's about balance when we're meeting somebody here. You want somebody that's got a Mercury in Aries or a Mercury in Gemini would get it for you. Someone that has a Mercury in Gemini, you can talk and just go off. Mercury in Aquarius. All right. Those are the people that you would really flow in conversation with and ideas and intellect here. So
Mhm.
somebody who gets it, the right partner for you, I definitely say the Capricorn and Sagittarius energy, mostly the Capricorn energy, even a little bit of Aquarius energy too. Aquarius energy would be hot. That's more intimate understanding. But we have different ways that we want to be understood. Sometimes can you party with me? Are you somebody that I can get some land with and start a business with? Or are you somebody that I just want to cuddle up with sometimes and share my secrets to?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many different levels to the connection. So that's the best
No,
I
but
would
that's
answer.
true. That's true. And I want to ask you too that I find that the majority of the time, very rarely do I do a session without somebody talking about relationships. Relationships are very important. So I see you are the love astrologer. So I would imagine that people are always coming to you about matters of love or affections or
Yeah,
romance or relationships or marriage or whatever the case is.
that's right. That's right. And I love, and I do definitely basic birth charts and stuff like that. But that is my favorite types of charts to do. I don't know why. It's just maybe all some of the
Would
Taurus
that be a
energy I got.
synergy chart? Would they call that a synergy chart, which means
Synastry.
yeah, the connection
Yes.
between you and that other person of interest?
Yep. Synastry and composite charts. They're two different things. So the synastry is that back and forth energy here. What is my Mars doing to your Venus? Basically, how do I turn you on? How do we think? Do we think alike? Like we were talking, I think it was to the previous person. It's like, how can I find somebody that gets what I'm saying? So that's what I teach it. And I also read it with people as to, okay, well, maybe this person, it might be imbalanced here. It may be where you're looking for a relationship, but they're really looking for a friendship. But no, he says he just wants to be friends. No, he means it. He means it. He really
Oh,
does
what's
want
the other one? You said a synergy chart and a combative chart? Is that
composite
composite? Now,
chart.
what does that mean?
Okay, so you have the synastry chart, which is the back and forth, and the composite is the basic kind of, all right, you put your ingredients into a cake. What is that cake going to taste like to people? What is the basic roundabout outcome? See, the composite chart is the midpoints. What's the middle ground here? What is the conclusion, the middle ground of this relationship? So I mix them all together when I'm doing it. It's a recipe I put together when it's like, okay, the composite chart says this, the synastry chart says this. But at the end
Mhm,
of the day, what does your heart say? What does your soul
mhm.
say? Because a lot of the times we know the answer. We know what the deal is with a person, but we just need somebody to confirm to say, you know what, you just looking for a hot time. You
Yeah,
know that's
and
what
the
you're looking for.
stars normally will show that.
Oh,
Well,
they
let me
always
ask
show
you
it.
this. Let me ask you this though. In your dating experiences or relationship experiences, do you
Beautiful.
need the exact time? Do you
Do I do that?
join on
Well,
it.
for those that might be in my DMs, might want to date. I do get to know the person first because it's so subjective for me. So the rules are different as me being the astrologer. Unless I see something really, really bad or violence, I definitely see a violence and abuse. Unless I see something extremely bad, which I have, then I take action immediately. And I say, you know what? Trust yourself. You know your ish. You know your stuff, D, right?
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
your stuff,
yeah.
and keep it moving. But most of the time, if it's a middle ground, I try to stay balanced with it and just see what happens. So it's not until I have to go outside of me and get someone with an objective opinion. I have to. And until I find that this person, okay, I want to get serious with this person, I'm willing to pay for a reading from astrologer I trust. There's so many
Hmm.
awesome astrologers out there. Then I
Hmm.
go for it and I'll get a reading outside. But for me, I just glimpse it real quick, you know. But no, I can't even lie. Some nights, if I really like you, I'll be looking. I'll be like, ooh, how are we gonna make this work? I want to make this
Be
work.
turning their pages, right?
I do, y'all. I'm human. I'm human. I
Well,
be looking.
listen, we all do. We all do.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
this is Denisha Hanson. She was born February 22nd, 1985 at 3:52 a.m.
Yes. Okay.
So that
Okay.
means her son is probably in about the third house, I would imagine. The third or the second house. I think it's the second house.
Maybe. Yeah. Probably the second. And it was 1985 or 85, baby.
1985, yes, 2/22, 1985. So this person is a Pisces master number 22 person.
And you know, us 85 babies. Oh, I gave my age away. I didn't mean to do that. The 85 babies here. You know, we're going through a new maturity phase here with Saturn entering Pisces here. We are up leveling. We got to buckle down here. And then got Pluto and Aquarius, so that's squaring a lot of our Scorpio planets. Because a lot of us in 85 and I believe 86, we got Saturn. Yeah, we got Saturn in Scorpio.
Uh-huh. Okay.
We got to woman up, man up this year. Okay, we're gonna have to really get serious about our lives and where we're going here. Let me make sure I got this right
And this
before I
is for
start running
people
my
born
mouth.
in 1985. That's what you're saying. This is a year where they
Yeah,
had to get together.
85, 86 here, as long as you know, and just generally, if you have Saturn in Scorpio. So I know most of us do. Okay, so I did get it correctly because I don't want to. Oh, no, no. See, something told me something was off. I want to make sure I get that time in there correct. So it was 3:52.
AM, yes, in the morning. That's why I was saying it's probably in the second house, I think. Not
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Yeah. It, let me make sure. Because, Lord, you off the chain. I love that you do that. That was
Thank you.
probably his son. Close, very close, almost in the third.
Okay, yeah.
So
I
it's
knew
just
somewhere
it.
around there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And technically it would be the second house starting with that late degree because we're hitting 8 degrees. What I do, because there's so many different ways to do the houses in astrology, not to get too advanced here, but starting from 8 degrees. So the first house is 8 degrees Capricorn to 8 degrees Aquarius. 8 degrees Aquarius to 8 degrees Pisces. So yes, you are right according to the way I do it. Yeah,
Okay.
if it's whole sign, then it would be third house. But because, but yes, Lloyd, you on point is what I'm trying
Thank
to
you.
say. Lloyd is on point. Woo. Okay, so any type of enlightenment, general reading. First, I want to say this person is a super passionate person. She don't play when she wants what she wants. She is going after it. She's getting it. She's
Scared of
getting
you,
it.
Denisha. All right.
Yeah, she what? And I mean, you have oh, she's got a nice chart this year. I think what's important for her is to get together with her family, and really get grounded within herself here. This is a time when she has to, it's okay to spend some time alone. It's okay to be in the comforts of your space. Make sure you put your comfort first. I know sometimes it's, if we want to achieve goals, we got to get uncomfortable. But for you, it's about getting comfortable right now. And it's about really growing internally. you know, like I said, from the base of yourself. And another thing here is maturity again is coming up for especially being an 85 baby. And it's gonna, the Saturn's gonna crush your sun, is what I'm trying to say. With Saturn about to crush your sun, sometimes you got to give yourself grace. Make sure you give yourself so much grace this year. If you want to sit down and not have to work so hard, it's okay. Because, I mean, if you go too hard, this is sickness. Okay, you could get sick. You could hurt yourself. So you got to let things go nice and steady here. But success could also be coming to you as well. It just depends on what you've been doing. I don't like to see, I see the planets as something you have to work with, okay? Because you can have a planet that has, you can have a reading that has, oh, on this day, amazing things are going to happen to you. You could get money. But if you stay home in the house, the most you can have is just a pleasant day. You know what I'm saying? Versus if you
Makes
went
sense.
out
Makes
and
sense.
you
Yes.
actually did
Yeah.
something, you
Yeah.
can magnify that pleasantness.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she should actually, I don't know, she got some money within the past couple days too. Some kind of money could have also came through. I hope you know, you're doing getting whatever owed to you, but it could also be finances could be improving as well for you.
Good.
But recently, like right now, like something special should be going on for her.
I have another person here. His name is Stephen E. He's born 11/17/76.
Who you make?
He is an aspiring actor. He says, "Hello, Miss AstroDee Stars." He's
Hello,
born at
hello.
10:33 a.m. in New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay, okay. And this is a 11. This is a November baby. Okay.
November 17th. He's be a water sign with an earth number, which means intensive and yet very pragmatic, very emotional and yet very grounded, very
Very
sensitive
emotional.
and yet very, you know, very commonsensical, conservative. I would say that would be one of his hallmarks. So he would
Mhm,
be
mhm.
a dramatic actor.
Oh yeah, deeply dramatic with that.
Yeah,
What
this
else
is
we got
eight.
here with this? Because it this is what you call it, very and this is he even needs when he's dealing with people, he has to have them be grounded. People always need to be grounded around him. He don't like fluffy BS people. You know, wants long-term relationships, friendship, whatever it is, they got to be in it for the long haul. And they need to have a lot of common sense. You were definitely right on that with the very pragmatic, straight to the point type of person here.
Mm-hmm.
But that passion, the passion runs deep. I would want to get him mad too. I tell you that one. He could probably play a really good detective or a bad guy. Just somebody in the corporate
That's what I
world.
was saying. Some dramatic actor with some drama,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
not
going with
comedy,
that.
but drama. You
Yes,
know.
drama, definitely drama, dramatic actor. I mean, he could
Yeah.
even do some horror. He could even do some horror flicks, you know, because when he can magnify his passion. His passion is more magnified than most. Some people, oh, you're exaggerating. Why you gotta be so big with that? But that's just how it is. I would, you know, take it to the screen. It'll be healthy for you to take it to the big screen as well and play angry people, play mad people. I would highly recommend that because of his expression can go so deep. You know, with this Mars and Scorpio here is really where I'm going at, and it's being opposed by Jupiter. So this is an exaggerated expression of anger that can come, but needs to be seen on the screen. So it can be exaggerated, but at the same time, he can let it seethe below the surface. So
Mm-hmm.
people can see
Mm-hmm.
him come and be like, "Oh, I can feel that. I feel this man's his passion." It doesn't
Yeah.
have to just be anger too. It could just be his passion, his sexual passion, all that good stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, it's very serious,
Because
serious.
he's an eight, and eights are normally very intent and very committed. When they focus, it's
Yeah,
like laser. You know what I'm saying?
laser focus, and he wants committed partners. And but for his balance here, you get somebody with planets in Cancer. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, and you know, and especially with Taurus in there, and Leo. So Leo, Cancer, Taurus, people with planets in that will rock his. I don't know if probably already married. If not, those are the types to look for, or those are the types to make partnerships with. Partnership doesn't have to necessarily mean marriage or a romantic partner. It's business partner. These are your agents. Okay, you want an agent, get a female agent when you get into your acting career.
Interesting, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one is from Antonia Thomas. She's born 5/13/1987 at 7:55 a.m. So her planet, so her sun would be in the sixth house, I do believe.
Oh, look at you, Lloyd. Going in. I believe so. I'm gonna say I want to check it out on here too, but it's
Mhm.
probably in that
And
sixth
she
house.
is an earth sign. She's a Taurus. She's an earth sign with an air number, which means practical and logical at the same time. Um, would like to think outside the box, like to be different. And this is her year to find her center, to center herself, since she's in a 7 personal year. And she said her life path is a 7, which is absolutely correct. From the month, the day, and the year she's born,
Ooh, this is
numbers are
powerful year for her, right? Most powerful. Okay, best partner. So I'm gonna do the similar thing here.
and her best
Now,
career path.
and then best career path. Because I know that's tough for you, Antonio. You're trying to figure out what it is that you want to do. Because it's like you could be a drug dealer if you wanted to do something slick, or you could get in the pharmaceutical industry here. This is also the spiritual world, doing spiritual work, whether you're doing tarot cards or you're helping people heal spiritually in some type of way. But you have to. I always say people with this energy is it's a long road trying to figure out what to do. It's always blurry, and it takes time to finally get yourself to a place where it's like, okay, this is what I want to do. So I usually recommend to these people do some form of spiritual work here as far as the career path. So again, this is whether you're doing some kind of Reiki or some type of healing, even psychology here. Um, that would be good for that. Or pharmaceutical, the drug industry, whether you're making herbs for people, or you're making things to help people experience transcendental and having transcendental experiences. Now, for the best partner, okay, so someone that's got Capricornian energy here and Scorpio energy. The Scorpio will actually help you with your career path. Your partner will help you. The right partner will always help you get your career path more clear. Scorpio energy will really help you with that. So you have a partner, you probably might meet someone that could be involved in the occult or involved in some type of spiritual practice here. And then, but they got to make sure they got a job, okay? They got to make, and I think that's a general advice to the ladies, but this person's got to be on point. You know, they need to be, shoot, there was somebody we just read that I was like, oh, they might be good for you, because I like doing matching people up too. It was somebody that we recently just read. I think it was
You certainly do,
an
right?
actor we did. Yeah, I was like, oh,
Now that's very interesting, and they're polar opposites. He's a Scorpio, she's a Taurus, and the opposition number to the 4 is the 8, and he's a 8 and she's a 4. So that would make for
ah,
interesting paradox numerically and
yes.
astrologically speaking. That's
Yeah,
true.
okay, see, okay, so we're on the same point with that. It's, you know, he might, his energy, she would really like his energy, actually really enjoy, like, and like I said, it doesn't have to be romantic, but just partnering up with that type of person. Yeah, he would hit a spot. You would really enjoy his company, actually, because he had Venus in Capricorn, and that would put his Venus in a very special spot for you.
Where
So a
would her
man,
Mars be there for?
his Mars
No,
would
her Mars,
her
because that
Mars.
would, yeah, because that would relate to how she's attracting the types of men, or at least
Yes,
the
yes. The
mindset of
type
the
of
men that's being drawn to, right?
intelligence, a very, very smart man. Okay. Somebody that can flip, that maybe speaks different languages here. Okay, because you can do multiple things at once. You're a very intelligent woman here, so this is an ambidextrous person. You literally, when people are like, oh no, you only got to do one thing at a time, you don't have to. Some people do really need to do one thing at a time in order for them to finish things, but you may need to have multiple things going on for you to feel fulfilled, for you to have passion in what you're doing here. So, but even the previous goes back to him too. I still, I'm like, man, you need to write him or something,
He
because
just
he
made a
even.
donation. Thank you so much, Stephen. He
Oh,
just
awesome,
made a
awesome.
donation.
Yeah. You want somebody, a man with planets, or your partner, whoever, whether it's male or female, you want them to have planets in Scorpio, planets in Capricorn, and Aquarius. And that will feel, this is from the romantic side here. This is for those type of partners that will fulfill you in a lot of different ways. Just be careful with the Sagittarius as well, but um, that because you may argue with them a little bit too much. If their Sagittarius energy is, they got late degree Sagittarius, that might be a little advanced. But this is where I come in. This is where I would look and say, okay, if you
Mhm.
met a person and they come in and he's got late degree Sagittarius, I would say, okay, this could be a good match for you. However, you're gonna have to cool your temper down. And when she gets mad, she should curse you out real bad. The fighting words. She knows how to say something and make somebody want to fight. Straight up. She
I'm
don't
sure
have to
she's
fight.
not that bad, but hey, you never
She
know.
could. No, yeah, I hope not. I hope she's not that bad. I'm sure she's a
All
sweetheart.
right, Antonio. Thank you so much. Let's see. Okay, this is bad guy Prez. Now, this is another person born on November 17th, but at 7:30 p.m. in Puerto
Okay.
Rico.
November 17th.
Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. Favorable days. Well, your favorable days would always be on a Saturday first, a Tuesday second, and but 8, 9, and 6, a Friday third. So it's Saturday, Tuesday, Friday. Although the calendar would say Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, but it's always Saturday first, Tuesday's always second, and then Friday's always your third day to do what you have to do. So they're
Yeah.
born in the PM hours. All righty.
November 17th. Yeah, yeah. Um Sundays. Did you say Sundays? You said Sundays? No, you didn't say
No,
Sunday.
no. For him, his best days, according to the way I look at it numerically,
Yeah.
he's born on the 17th. That rules that's Saturn, so that's Saturday. And then he's then under the sign of Scorpio. That's the number 9, which is Tuesday. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next day would be Friday. Those would be his power days, so to speak. Except he's
Yeah.
born at a totally different time than William was. But interesting, they're both born on November 17th.
Yeah, and he's an extremely passionate partner. I mean, it's difficult for him to let certain people go. So Fridays would be also a nice day for him to meet, have the most passionate experiences with someone. We're talking about days here. We're gonna talk about favorable days. Yeah, when it comes to love, because I'm gonna go back to that, the relationship part. But when it comes to that, I think a Friday, and it's also a Venus day, but I equate it to passionate, deep experiences with others is Friday. Tuesday, Venus here is in Scorpio, and that is, they don't let go. They just, it takes challenge. It's not that they can't ever let go, or he can't, bag out press. It's not that you can't ever let go, but it's gonna take you a while. If you really hooked in line and sinker, it's not gonna be quite easy. And I also would recommend that you put as much focus on your career right now and your reputation as possible. Don't let that be fall to the wayside during this period right now. You need to really focus on who you are and who you are seen as in the world. I know people say, like, I don't care about what people think, but I mean, I don't want my boss to think I'm lazy. I don't want my clients to think that I'm going to be do a sloppy job and I'm not going to be accurate. So there is a balance to that, when we are building our reputation and we're going to leave a legacy in the world. So that's going to be that's really important in this time period for you. Extremely important. Yeah,
All right,
really.
good. And by the way, we have a common friend. She's there at the bottom. Her name is
Kendall.
Hypnosis Kendall.
Yes, I did.
Just,
I work with Kendall. Kendall is incredible.
I would
I mean,
agree.
she
I would
helped me with
agree.
so much stuff. I am not a perfect person here. You know, I know how to do the math and do all these readings and stuff, but you know, I'm working on my own personal
Well,
life. And
everybody brings to the table their skill sets in life. That's what that is.
right, that's
Yeah,
right. And it's
everybody's
based
got
off
a
of,
skill
I'm
set.
sorry, what did you say?
No, I said everybody brings to the table their skill sets in life.
Yeah. And a lot of these skills we get better at because we've struggled in certain areas, you know, and we know what we need to strengthen and work on. But I highly recommend working with Kendall for anything you need hypnosis wise because she's gonna get it done. I was really amazed working with her. And I've recommended her to so many people. I mean, I hope
Yeah,
that
I have two. I have two.
yeah, she wants
Yeah,
to
she's good.
genuinely help people. And I mean, that is the core of a hypnosis practitioner, an astrologer, a numerologist. Do you really want to help people? Do you really want to see their lives get better from working with you or give them more clarity?
That's
Things
a
like
nice
that.
contribution, and you
Incredible.
have no idea how it may shape humanity in one way, shape, or form in the future. I want to ask you a question before we go to the next one. In
Yeah.
astrology, they always talk about opposition signs. So we was talking about Antonia, who was born on May the 13th, and Stephen as a just a kind of a projection of November 17th. To me, if they said to me, came and said, would this be a marriage made in heaven? I would say no. Not that
Hmm.
I would not want it to be, but knowing that there are oppositional signs, and yet
Hmm.
opposition signs attract. So what I say is, yes, there are things they're attracted to about it, but then eventually there'll be things they can't stand about each other. Is that
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Because it doesn't just stop there at opposites attract. It doesn't because one could be more into the other than the other person. It's like okay, you know, we're not a match made in heaven, but we could start a creative project together, and maybe
Mhm,
that would flourish here, you know. And it also depends on these overlays because that's what I do in synastry. I overlay the chart on top of each other here.
mhm, mhm,
You know, this person could, you know, let's say he put her, because I can't quite remember his chart. Let's say if he put his Saturn in her sixth house or something like that, he can make you sick, you know, or he can make you have to work harder than you normally have to work when you're in a partnership. So it doesn't just stop. You're right. It doesn't stop there at opposites attract. It goes a lot deeper. How is, you know, the Mars I saw, depending on where he had his Mars, it could create accidents in her life at some point. You know what I mean? Because it hits on her Uranus that was in Scorpio here. And I believe that was her. Please forgive me if it wasn't, because I got so many charts in my mind. You got me
yeah,
going today.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
wait. And I'm looking at the whole wheel. I'm trying to get the whole wheel in there.
No, but I think you're doing it, and the fact that we're just doing it in a crash course fashion. But now, do you do sessions by Zoom?
Yes, yes, that's what I do. We get one on one, face to face, and Zoom. They give me their information, or they give me their information and their partner's information, and I just pick it apart. And I love for people to ask me, "What do you want me to focus on?" Because I do my prep before I get to your reading, and I just study and I take notes on what's going on here. Ask me as many questions as you can fit. You know, do you see a future for us together? What do I
Mhm,
need to work on in order
mhm,
to help maximize this relationship? You know, how can I turn this person on sexually? You know, what do
mhm,
they like? And I could see
mhm,
that in the chart as well. You know,
mhm.
and I could also see, you know, what is it going to be like having children, raising the children? Can you live domestically? Because sometimes we can think somebody is the best person until you move in with them. Well,
And they wind
astrology
up
can
being a
tell.
nightmare.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is true.
yeah. It's like y'all
That
can't
is
live
very
together
true.
though. You
That is
you can
very
try to
true.
be together and just don't live together though. Or this can be a long distance relationship or unrequited love. That's always a very hard one. You know, for myself, sometimes I can't see it. You know, I might have a crush. I'll be like, well, we can
Well,
do this.
it's hard to see yourself. It's hard for us to step outside of ourselves. So if somebody said, Lloyd, can you read yourself? I mean, I know what my cycles are, but not as if I give it to somebody else to
Yeah.
read me. That is a much better type of situation altogether, you know.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
here's another one. This is from Good Health Equals Wealth. They're born at November the 20th of 1974 at 8:52 a.m. there in Sherman, Texas. What's the best days and time to conduct business? Well, for them, while you're looking at the
Yeah.
chart,
Mm-hmm.
your best days, first of all, you're a Scorpio too, so your water sign with a water number. So your best numbers are always the 2, 7, and 6. Therefore, Mondays and Fridays are always your best days, with your best months primarily being March, May, July, and October, primarily as a rule. You are in a transitional year this year since you are in a master number 11, or I'm doing everything in my head. I need to have a paper to see technically whether you're in a two-person year or an 11, but either way, it's a transitory type of cycle where changes and rearrangements in relationships, changes and relationships at the workplace, and also changes and rearrangements in the home too. And also changing the diet too. But you've always been finicky about diets, and that's it. They don't give me a clue whether it's a male or female. I'm gonna leave it at that. But anyway,
Yeah. This is a time where they also got to be careful what they say. They're going to have to mature in their thinking and how they're speaking to other people. This is a new level of publishing too, if they want to publish something in their work, or, you know, what they say to the world, how their thoughts, they have to be very careful about not being too pessimistic. Don't be too hard on yourself this year. This is about uh because you could get depressed. You got to fight, make sure you are eating healthy, that you are, fighting any type of negative or overly pessimistic thoughts, because it's about perfection, wanting to be correct, wanting to be right here. And this is a deep thinker. This is somebody that, you can't just say anything to them and they're gonna just it's gonna fly, roll off their back. They're
yeah.
gonna think about this. They're gonna think about it for a long time and then come back to you like, I don't like what you said to me last week. And it's like,
Yeah,
I didn't know that, but it's just all in how you say it. So that, I think, is going to be important for them over this next year. Watch how you say what you say, and you're going to start coming off a lot more mature to other people, getting deeper in the way you communicate.
very good, very good.
Excuse the noise. Can you hear a lot of noise in the background?
I heard something like a machine, like a I mean
Yeah, I'm by the window. Okay, I
lawnmower,
think it.
something,
I
something.
think it'll chill. Yeah,
It's
and I
okay.
think it.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Now
Okay.
this is from Pre Morgan, and greetings and thank you. She's born July the 3rd, 1975 at 10:27 a.m.
What kind of question? Was it just anything they want?
Yeah, she just said just for reading, but I can tell her this, that at one point she was attracting older men. Now at this stage in her life, she's definitely attracting younger men. That much is for sure.
Okay.
And men from different cultures.
Yeah.
She has a very strong Jupiter influence in her chart that governs foreigners, foreign countries, and foreign languages. So I would encourage her to learn a second language too.
Ooh, I like that, Lord. Yeah. It's been y'all get into it. Totally. Yeah, she's also Lloyd, you off the chair. She's also having her Jupiter return. It is everything Lloyd
Yeah,
said.
see?
What it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
It's
okay.
like
See how the
good.
numbers work? I said, so I don't have to do all of that, you know? You're going to
I
treat
was gonna
criminals.
say because he did nail it. He nailed it. I love seeing how the numerology and the astrology just they mesh really well
Yeah,
together.
everything is
Yeah,
all a synergy. It's all.
totally. And be experiencing getting closer to people, having healing any toxic wounds, any because we're always dealing. A lot of us are all dealing with trauma. Not everybody, but your trauma could really be addressed, pulled up from the root, and just healed in so many different ways. Finding teachers as well, foreign teachers and foreign lovers. This is a healthy way to help heal trauma and open you up more in intimacy. So you might be experiencing new levels on sharing secrets, getting closer to people in a way that you've never gotten close to them before. It gives you more hope, more optimism. You know, waking up one morning like, "Ooh, that was amazing. I could do this. Life
Yeah,
is good. I
yeah.
feel better." So yeah, having really special, intimate times, and like I said, healing of the trauma wounds would be really good within the next couple months. You're gonna experience that. Go to Kendall. Check out Kendall too. This is a good time for hypnosis as well.
Now, this is not a birthday, but it's something interesting. You know, we always talk about the first solar return, the first lunar return. This person is talking about their Saturn return. Can you
Oh,
explain that?
yes. So currently I'm in my late part of Saturn return with Saturn in Pisces. What does that mean for me, given all this energy I've experienced in the last couple years? So for one thing, I would be careful around any type of drugs, okay, or whether that's prescription drugs or whether that's street drugs. Be very careful about it because you can learn some really harsh lessons concerning it. And I'm not saying, you know, if and what he was doing before with any type of drugs or even spirituality. This is the time to get grounded in your spirituality. And the deeper you get grounded, the easier this Saturn return is going to come to you. And I'm curious about late Saturn return. So I'm thinking it would be leaving it. And you have a moon in Pisces as well. I would wonder if that Saturn has hit your moon yet. If the Saturn's hit the moon, if it's about to hit your moon and it's in its seventh house, feeling like if you're in a relationship, you might want to walk away for a little bit. You might want to be by yourself or having to emotionally mature. See, Saturn on the moon is always saying, I need to learn how to be emotionally independent. Sometimes you can cry in the middle of the night like a baby and ain't nobody coming. Nobody's coming. You have to learn how to soothe yourself. You have to mature emotionally and learn when it's time to just work on it by yourself. We don't always have that support when Saturn is on the moon. Saturn is how well do you know how to support yourself? And that comes with maturity. You know, you can't always lean on me, you know, like Morgan Freeman. You can't always do that. You have to lean on yourself, create strong structures within yourself to lean on. But you could also find long term supportive women that could come into your life. So choose your partners very wisely, very wisely. Don't mess around here. Check her background, check where she's coming from, and just make sure that this person, I think that was a female or male.
Male, I believe.
That was a male. Yeah. Make sure that this person has their stuff together and they are mature in how they deal with things emotionally and how they're dealing with their spirituality. Everybody's got to ground this year in spirituality. Number 7 year, Saturn in Pisces. What do you believe in for real? Okay, what do you really believe in for real? Grab onto it and hold on to it because it's going to be needed for a very long time. What we choose to do right now spiritually will affect us for a long time.
Now, I have one, and this is a couple. So this will give you
Oh
a
my
chance to
God.
demonstrate
Yeah.
that.
Give me
Now,
the
the one
second
thing
one.
I
This
see,
one.
and by the way, you have a book, I call it the ABC's astrology book. So I'm going to talk about
Yes.
that after you do this.
Please do. Please do. And
So
of course.
now, while you're looking that up, one is born at 7 p.m., one is born at 5 a.m., totally different time frames. They're both fire signs. One is Leo, the other is Aries. So in that way, it's good. Numerically looking at the numbers, see, the numbers in numerology represents the mental connection. So I would
Mm.
say there will be times when y'all are not on the same page, but I don't know what couple, no matter what days and stuff, where there's sometimes you're just not on the same page. So it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
the styles are totally different. The only thing
Yeah.
that would be the saving grace about this one born on August 11th is this not just a two, it's made of two ones, which are fire numbers. So they're both technically fire signs with fire numbers. And therefore, I would say this would explain the exception.
They're already together or are wanting to be together.
He says, "What do you see for my wife and I?" So he's the one
Okay.
that's born August the 11th, and she's the one that's born Aries. But I know this, so your wife don't play. So you married a pistol. That's all I can tell you. So she don't be joking. I'm sure you found out too.
Oh my God. And this is 7 p.m. Central Time, so 7 p.m. flat. Okay. So they're still um checking
Yeah,
on
they
that
should
time.
be about to
One more
sleep at
second.
this
Just
house.
one,
Yeah.
because I just want to make sure I am accurate and I'm not playing with this one because I really truly enjoy these couples here because I mean, at the end of the day, I know some people like to be alone, but we did not come into this world by ourselves. Okay. We had people around us. And, you know, it's that's not always what it's about. This is about the connection and how we're sharing with other people. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to just be romantic couples. This could also be, you know, your party business partnerships, your family. Family, you got synastry with your auntie. You got
Yeah.
synastry with your uncle.
Yeah.
All that stuff
Or
here.
why you don't get along with one sister more than another one or one brother. I mean, it's all in the stars, really.
I
And the
see. I
numbers are
tell
two.
you. Oh my goodness, I did it again. I'm having an issue with putting it together because I just want to make sure. Oh,
Well, I would say this,
sorry.
looking at it, that this
11 November. Why is it giving me a hard time? Of course, you know, once as soon as I think I got too excited, I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,"
yeah,
and that's when
August,
my computer
August,
started
yeah,
going
August
slower.
11th and April 18th.
7 p.m. Okay, I got
And
way
they
too
are
excited.
5 and she is 5 a.m. So her house, hers will be in I think the
Okay, okay, I'm ready. I got it. I got
good,
it.
good,
All
good,
right.
good.
Whew.
There we go.
Let me calm down. Cause all right, all right. So it's pulling up here. Man, I totally see why they're a couple. But right, I could see that. Okay, so for the person that is April in April,
That's
that
the
was
wife.
her. That's
Yes.
the woman. He really, man, there's a spoiling that goes on between these two people. Because, you know, I see this Jupiter Venus conjunction that one has with the other. It's almost like there's a deep excitement that can happen between the couples. I also see like he may want to spoil her a lot. This is no. She opposite. She may want to spoil him, to give a lot to him. You know, it's
Hmm.
like there's an abundance here in this relationship, a lot of abundance. Also, it might have been tough living together. Might not be as easy as it. You know, they had to work for that to really be able to be in the same space together. It might have been a time when they had to be apart from each other. Maybe somebody had to work long distance, but living together sometimes is not always, you know, peaches and cream. You
No,
know,
they're
that,
very strong personalities. So if that's what you, I would
yeah,
agree with you on that one.
yeah, like, whoa. And also, this is heavy. This gets tough here too, because it's like because, you know, I didn't write the names down. I just wrote, so
Hmm.
she is red. Okay, so she is the blue. He's teaching her a lot of lessons about her life. It's a Saturn North Node conjunction. So sometimes it can feel like, oh, I got to show you this now. I got to show you that now, and that's okay because some people are in our lives to show us challenges here. So this
Hmm.
this is, you know, they had to work to get to where they are in their marriage right now. You know, it's not always a walk in the park. That I will
Yeah,
say.
but no marriage really is. I mean, when I
Right.
say that, it's not that the marriages, all marriages are challenging, but they're not
Hmm.
like storybook endings. That's what I try to get to people. So if you're in the storybooks, you're gonna get your feelings hurt. You will be disappointed. You know,
Yeah,
that's
but and
all I
see, then on the flip side, the positive side, the storybook. That I love that. If you're trying to be a storybook, you go get your feelings hurt.
yeah.
He brings her mental healing too. So it's like you know, there's a lot of work that could be also healed at the same time. You're not the same person as you were. Any mental wounds that you might have had, holding on to things, he comes in and he's a healing energy to help her get through that, her tough times. So, you know, it is what it is. It marriage is never, like you said, it's never just easy for everybody, easy breezy. Actually, some marriages I've seen though that are a lot easier than others I've
I
seen.
have to. I have to. And then
You
I
know,
say,
it's like, why y'all even married? Why'd y'all do that? But actually, that's not the case because, like I said, you can see in the chart. I can see why you would marry this person, you
hmm
know, and it always verifies it for me. There's certain formula I go by. It's like, okay, this is somebody you're gonna want to marry, you know, and then this is somebody that's gonna want to marry you. That's another thing. And sometimes people still get married,
yeah,
regardless. Like
regardless.
I
Yeah.
really didn't want to marry her, but I did it because it just
One more
worked.
question before I show your books. Have
Yes.
you ever read a person who's gotten married? I think I read a client that's got married about 5 or 6 times.
Oh my
And
goodness.
one of them, she said, because the sex was good, but she was very honest. That one didn't last but a minute, but
I know it did.
he
I
said
know
the
it
sex
did.
was good. So,
Wait, have I ever had that? What are you
yeah,
asking?
have you ever had a client that's been married multiple times? Now, some people get married 2, maybe 3 times, but when you're hitting 4 or 5 times, you're going into a whole different zone.
I've never had 4 and 5 times. That I got to keep it real. I've had maybe
Yeah,
2 to 3, you know, and then after lately, you know, after that, they just get scared and don't want to never do it. I get the people that say they don't want to, but I see in their chart that they do. It's like, yes, you do. No, I don't want to get married. No, you do. You're just afraid that you're not. So it's easier to say you don't want it.
that's funny. Let's talk
Right.
about your first book
Yes.
right
Yes.
there.
ABCs of astrology. I now, you know, you hear me talk a lot about synastry. And it was tough because there's also a part of me, because you see what I say is it's AstroDee, love and relationships. That's my specialty. But I love throwing some flavor and simplicity onto learning astrology. So that's the part of me that loves to make astrology simple, make it fun. I do skits. You know, I put a Coming to America piece into learning something about astrology. But in order for me to be able to really express synastry freely, I had to teach the basics. I had to
Yes.
go back to the ABCs, one, two, three. What is it? How do I put this together here? I did a book and I also have a course which is on my website. I'm also even working to improve the course even more, to break it down even more
We're
simply.
going to talk about that one because you also did one
Yes.
on relationship symmetry.
A relationship industry. Yes, I have this book and I have a relationship course, which is extensive. It's very extensive, where I break down, you know, what are the certain combinations within a chart, not just by your sign, but what are the certain aspects within that chart. See, you have the signs here, and then you have aspects. How are those signs interacting within the chart with each other?
hmm
Okay.
hmm
So I break down, you know, what does it mean to have someone's Pluto on your Mercury? That means, you know, they control the thinking a lot. They have a lot of power over your thoughts. You know, a lot of times they can move you, they can manipulate you on a lower vibration. On the higher vibration, they can manipulate you to stop smoking crack or do stop,
Yeah.
you know, drinking. You
Yeah.
know, if
Yeah.
your Mercury is in Pisces, let's say, or if you're confused, you know, so Pluto, you know, when someone's Venus is on your sun or Venus moon and you have a deep affinity towards them. Because and my whole thing is always, I'm about teaching you how to do it yourself. People still come to me, which I love it, that people will still come to me. But I'm like, hey, learn how to do this yourself. You know, how can I show you that? And then the third book I did, do you have that one up?
No, no, I wasn't aware of
Okay.
the third book.
Yeah, the third book I did was for the parents that want their children to follow their steps in astrology, and it's called
I
Learning
know
the
you said
Planets
the
for Children.
ABCs. Would that still be the ABCs of astrology too?
No, that one is a little bit for more adults. I'm talking about Mars and your sexual energy here. So that one's not for the children. So that's why I wanted to do something special where I was just teaching the children how to learn the planets. And this story is about a little girl named Myra, and she dreams, and when on these dreams she goes to different planets. So, you know, moon representing the mother, on when she goes to the moon, her mom is there, and each description within the poems I wrote is about what the moon represents. So you're teaching your child how to understand what each planet
What's the name of your
represents.
book? What's the name of this book?
It's called Learning the Planets for Children, Myra's Adventure.
Now, this is on Amazon also?
Absolutely, it's on Amazon. On
Okay,
Amazon,
good.
and it's poem based, and it's just on Mars. Mars is about our passion, our energy, how we're fighting, of course, and it's also sexual energy. But I didn't put that part there. But she's on Bruce. She's on Mars fighting with Bruce Lee. And this is her dreams, and it's the illustrations are incredible. That illustrator did such a Henrique is his name. He did such a great job for me.
Good, good. I've got to see that because I think
Yeah.
that's very nice. But this is how people can get in touch with AstroDee. She's a love astrologer, author. She's an actress. See, we got to have you back because we ain't even talk about your acting pieces and stuff
No,
like that.
no, but you
We'll
can
get
catch
to
me
that.
on yeah,
Huh?
you can catch me on Hightown. I was on NCIS New Orleans. I've been on Jessica Jones when it was out, Gotham. I had a really wonderful experience working as an actress. I'm more focused on the astrology these days and being an author. But if I get a role, that'd be real nice.
Okay, we get your autograph too. All
Yeah,
righty. So
yeah.
therefore, your site is AstroD Stars with a S number 5 at .com. Her
No
email,
five. Actually, I'm sorry, we were going over this earlier and I missed that. So it's astroDstars.com. No
no
five
5.
on our website.
Okay, I stand corrected. That error is on Lloyd Strayhorn. Okay.
Okay.
What about IG? Did I do that right one or no 5?
Yes. The five is just IG. Yeah.
All
We're
right,
getting
good.
a lot of imposters there.
And
So
your link tree should be that, right?
yes, that's correct.
And
That
your
is correct.
Cash App. Now, the Cash App is very important because this sister, like also many of my guests, have stepped out there to do this as acts of faith, acts of humanity, and no
Mhm.
cushions, no pensions, and all that other stuff. She's just doing it out of the love of it. So please show her some love by donating to AstroD5. Okay, $ too. Listen, hold on one second because I want you to come back to give a parting word. I just want to talk about who is going to be on the rest of this week. All righty. And by the way, I do want to thank everybody. This week, Wednesday, I'm going to have King Simon on. In fact, King Simon has also sponsored the show this week. And we're going to be talking about his book about mental stability and health. It's going to be on the 22nd. It's a 4 deals with mental health. This is a very serious crisis. I saw something just the other day of reading teenagers are going through a real mental health crisis, which means these teenagers will turn into adults. And so you never know how things will happen. And so they'll jokingly say, well, some are off their meds, but this is no joke with that. By the way, please pick up a free copy of my monthly newsletter at Numbers and You. You can also go to my website and listen to my podcast, Lloyd. Go to lloyd-strayhorn.com. I thank Miss Williams for really hooking it up the way she does. And also to my moderator who put out this wonderful book, Numbers Decoded, Cards Unfolded. I think they might be sold out, so y'all might have to definitely order, but it is a rare, rare book to have. And I'm going to tell you, it's so enjoyable, easy to read, and everybody should have one in their home. So, working backwards again, please listen to my podcast. So, eventually, one day, Astro D, she will be one of the people that you can be heard on the podcast too. And so, while it's still March, sign up for the free monthly newsletter. And again, this has been brought to you by King Simon, my buddy. And we're going to be talking about his book that's on the far right and about mental health and stability. Nobody does it better than my brother King Simon.
Nobody.
So anyway, this is to let you know for my guest Astro D. This is her book. I'm sorry I missed that other book, but I think that's good
Okay.
for children. But be that as it may, I want to come back to you. And so, what are your
Yeah.
party words, young lady, for
Oh
you?
man. Special shout out to King Simon. Simon, I get back to you. I've been traveling, so but Simon is the man. Okay, Simon is excellent. You guys are both the top numerologists I
Yeah,
know.
he's my
So
brother. He's my brother.
special shout out to you, Simon. And just my parting words is, I'm here to teach. That is my number one MO. And astrology is just as valuable as all of the other one, as numerology, as tarot. Astrology can help you in so many different ways, and especially in your relationships, how to govern through each other. So I say just use my work as just learning material, my YouTube. I teach astrology. I love to teach in a way where you don't know I'm kind of teaching, where it's not obvious that I got a board and it's teaching, whether it's through my artwork. I'm also a painter and artist. So whether it's through my artwork, whether it's through me acting and creating a skit about a certain aspect in astrology, so I just say, use my work as an abundance of knowledge here, because that's what it's about. How do we empower ourselves?
With that, couldn't have said it better. Listen, thank you so much, AstroDee. Take
Thank
good
you.
care of yourself. And for those of you, please just take a screenshot of her information. She does readings by Zoom, by phone, by email. She also teaches the course. The next time we're back on, we'll get into her acting, what got her later to that.
You want to talk?
Huh?
I thought it was funny. I didn't know you wanted to talk about that. That's cool. Let's talk
Yeah,
about it.
no. There's a lot. There's a lot I haven't went. I mean, there's a lot. That's why you're gonna be back. That's
Yeah, yep,
yeah.
yep.
That's gonna be the fun part. And also, I need to thank Sister Kendall Cobb, hypnotist extraordinaire, for making this connection. It's interesting. Many of the guests I have will refer other people, and they wind up being like awesome. Like I mean, it's just nice. I've gotten guests from Simon's show. Uh,
Yeah.
then I'll have a person refer me to this one, a person refer me to that one, and they all just as great. So I'm very, very fortunate. So people
And
think I have
that,
a great show. I have a great guest. That's the secret sauce.
oh, you're so charming. And also too, Simon, I had met Simon back in Harlem years ago. Where so New York is home. So back
Yeah,
in Harlem, and he was like, I know another one. You gotta check out this guy, Lloyd Strayhorn. Here's his number. Talk to him. Call him. And you just chatted with me, just freely. I know you don't remember because this was so long ago, but you just this was so honest and cool with me. You were like,
you
stay
mean I
in touch.
talked to you years ago?
Yes, we
Get out of
spoke
here!
when
Really?
I was in New York. Yeah, man. And like I
Wow.
said, it wasn't based off of any kind of work, nothing. It was just to talk. And how open and free you were with your time, and you were attentive. So I really appreciate you just as a person and doing your
Shows
thing
why you
here.
got to be nice to people. See, that's a good
See,
example. Suppose I
yes.
felt bad and called you out your name. You'd have got on my show.
And then Kendall brought it right back around. Kendall brought
Yeah,
it all the
yeah.
way back
That's
around.
good.
Shout
That's
out to
good.
Kendall and shout out. And Simon was the one that introduced me to Kendall. So, I'm just so
And I
thankful
was
for
introduced
that
to
work.
Kendall off Simon's show.
See, there it is. There it is. This
It's
is
all
what it's
related. It's all related. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me your extra time.
Thank
And
you.
don't forget, please, this is take a screenshot, freeze the camera, whatever, however you do it, and make sure you get in touch with this beautiful love astrologer. Listen,
Yeah.
I want to thank you very, very much, Astro D. You take good care,
Yeah.
okay?
You too. You too, man. All right.
And everybody, I want to thank you very, very much. This was great. Please make sure you reach out to her. This is her website information, how you can get in touch with her. I didn't ask if she had a phone number, but when she comes back, if she's got one, you'll get it next time. But this is how you make sure you get in touch with her. So, everybody, I want to thank you very, very much. Everybody, have a nice day. I'll see you in 2 days when we're in a new moon and we're officially in the sign of Aries. Have a nice day. Bye bye.